There is a place in the world where time seems to stand still, where silence speaks, where the presence of God can be felt even in the wind. High in the mountains of Lebanon, the Church of Saint Charbel in Annaya is more than just a temple. It is a dwelling of peace, miracle, and mystery. Today, you're going to discover the place where heaven touches the earth. Located at approximately 1,200 meters above sea level, in the heart of Lebanon's mountains, Annaya is more than a village. It is a natural sanctuary. The road leading there feels like a spiritual journey in itself. With every turn, the landscape invites you to withdraw, to be still, to reflect. In winter, mist covers the cedars and pines like a veil, giving the area an almost monastic atmosphere. In summer, the dry, clean mountain air seems to purify your thoughts. It's no exaggeration to say that many pilgrims begin praying before they even reach the sanctuary, such is the spiritual power the place radiates. The region of Jbeil, where Annaya is located, is historically Maronite. Since the early centuries of Christianity, monks have sought out these peaks for solitude and prayer. The very ground on which the Church of Saint Charbel stands was considered sacred long before Saint Charbel was canonized. The site's topography carries deep meaning, an isolated mountain, open to the heavens, far from cities and the noise of modern life. It's as if nature itself was shaped for this place of introspection and spiritual connection. Annaya is a spot on the map where people seek more than just a visit. They find a space for intimate encounters with God. Here, there is no rush, no distractions, only presence and peace. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now so you don't miss any stories. It is in this setting that the church, the monastery, and the small cell where Saint Charbel lived are found. Everything here seems designed to protect silence, the kind of silence that is not empty, but full of meaning. A silence that speaks of God. The Church of Saint Charbel in Annaya is a true home of simplicity. Its architecture reflects the true beauty of faith. No exaggerated adornments, no opulence, but a depth of soul that touches everyone who enters. The place invites silence, prayer, and direct connection with God, offering a unique experience of spirituality and reflection. The church was built with the rough stones typical of the region, stones that reflect the rustic nature of the mountains, but also the unshakable strength of faith. The simple facade, without luxury, conveys Saint Charbel's core message. Holiness is not found in the external, but in purity of heart. Upon entering, the cool mountain air mixes with the soft light filtering through the stained glass. The central altar, where Saint Charbel celebrated countless masses, is not a place of ostentation, but a reflection of deep humility. It was at this altar that the monks celebrated the mysteries of faith, far from fame, recognition, and the outside world. The stone walls, without grand decoration, are adorned with simple, meaningful images, icons of Saint Maron, Saint Charbel, and other saints of the Maronite tradition. The silence of the temple is almost tangible, as if the walls, soaked in prayer, held secrets from heaven. It is around Saint Charbel's altar that the mystery of his holiness is revealed most deeply. Here, where he prayed, fasted, and sought union with God, many believe the saint is still present, interceding for all. A place of peace, where worldly worries seem to melt away. Inside the church, there is also a small chapel that holds relics of Saint Charbel, pieces of his robe and other memories of the monk. These relics, not ostentatiously displayed, are kept with great reverence, accessible only to those who approach with hearts full of faith. In this land where prayer and faith meet, the tomb of Saint Charbel in Annaya is more than just a final resting place. For many, it is a point of contact with the divine, a place where heaven seems to touch earth, and where miracles unfold with astonishing frequency. Saint Charbel's tomb was originally built inside the Church of Saint Maron, but due to the growing number of pilgrims seeking healing and grace, it was moved to the modern sanctuary, inaugurated in 1950. Since then, the site has become a center of peace and miracles, welcoming all who seek intercession and spiritual healing. The construction of the new sanctuary, with its serene and solemn majesty, honors the monk's characteristic simplicity. The shadow of the mountains, the cool atmosphere, and the quiet that surrounds the area make those who come feel instantly enveloped in a peace that defies explanation. As if, upon crossing the sanctuary's doors, time stops and the world outside disappears. But what is it that draws so many people to this tomb? What makes it so special? It is the miracle of incorruptibility. When Saint Charbel's body was exhumed in 1950, his flesh was intact, with no signs of decay, even though 23 years had passed since his death. This is not just a rare phenomenon, but a sign of his sanctity, believed by many to be a continuation of his deep union with God. In the years that followed, thousands of reports of inexplicable healings began to emerge. Stories of people who, after praying and touching Saint Charbel's tomb, were healed from severe illnesses, some even after being given terminal diagnoses. Testimonies of healing from cancer, terminal illnesses, and even the recovery of people in comas began to circulate, drawing even more pilgrims to this sacred place. The tomb itself is simple, covered with a cloak of smooth stones, yet the atmosphere around it is filled with a powerful spiritual presence. People kneel, pray, and many describe feeling a living, gentle presence, as if they were being embraced directly by Saint Charbel. It is in this place that souls encounter the divine mystery. The sanctuary is constantly lit by burning candles, while silent pilgrims offer their heartfelt prayers. Miracles still happen today, and the area around the tomb is filled with a renewed sense of hope. Even in death, Saint Charbel remains a powerful intercessor for all who approach him with faith. Leave your prayer request in the comments below so that Saint Charbel may intercede for it before God. For many, the simple act of arriving in Annaya is more than just a trip. It's a spiritual journey, a path that begins on the winding roads of Lebanon and ends in the heart of a place where faith becomes tangible in every stone, every prayer, and every step taken. The road to Annaya is not an easy one, but it is precisely that journey which, for many, marks the beginning of a spiritual transformation. The roads are narrow and steep, and along the way, pilgrims are greeted by the uninterrupted beauty of the mountains. However, the true experience begins when they enter the small village of Annaya, where the streets seem to grow still, and a sense of peace surrounds them, as if the place itself were a prayer. Upon reaching the sanctuary, many pilgrims report an immediate sense of inner silence. Even before entering the church, the surroundings begin to prepare the heart. The scent of the earth, the fresh mountain breeze, and the sound of rustling leaves slow the body down, as if it were already possible to leave behind the worries of the outside world. The experience of prayer at the sanctuary is unlike any other. Here, no one is rushed. Unlike many tourist spots, the rhythm of Annaya is set by stillness and silent prayer. Processions held throughout the year, especially on dates like Saint Charbel's feast day, are moments of deep spiritual unity among the faithful. During those times, pilgrims gather around the sanctuary to pray together, often spending the entire night in vigil, in silent prayer, seeking the saints' intercession. The testimonies of pilgrims who visit Annaya are deeply moving. Some speak of physical healing or profound emotional transformation, while others simply describe the inner peace they experience there. The atmosphere of the place holds undeniable power, something felt even by those not seeking physical miracles, but only a moment of spiritual renewal. For many, visiting Saint Charbel's tomb is the peak of their pilgrimage. The simplicity of the place, far from the pressures of the world, offers a chance for direct contact with God. In silence, with hearts full of prayer, pilgrims touch the tomb, asking for Saint Charbel's intercession. And it is there, in that moment of deep humility, that many say they feel a living presence, as if the saint were truly interceding for them. Annaya, with its timeless tranquility, remains a beacon of faith and a haven of peace, drawing pilgrims from all over the world. In a time when the world feels increasingly chaotic and daily worries multiply, Saint Charbel's sanctuary offers something rare, a chance to slow down, reconnect with the divine, and experience true inner peace. Faith in Saint Charbel has not diminished over the years, on the contrary. In recent times, the sanctuary's popularity has grown, with pilgrims coming not only from the Middle East, but also from Europe, the Americas, and even Asia. In times of global crisis, whether due to economic struggles, personal challenges, or health concerns, people turn to Annaya in search of answers, comfort, and faith. The sanctuary is not only a place of pilgrimage, but also a center for spiritual renewal. It continues to offer daily masses, communal prayers, and moments of contemplation. Those who come to the sanctuary aren't only seeking miracles, they are searching for spiritual restoration. They seek that moment of pause in the whirlwind of life, where they can reconnect with their faith, with God, and with the highest principles of existence. Over the years, the site has undergone renovations, always preserving the essence and spirit of Saint Charbel. Even with modernization, the place maintains the simple beauty that has inspired so many to seek their faith and healing there. If you believe in the power of faith and the importance of sacred places like Annaya, please like this video, leave a comment with your thoughts, and share it with others who are also seeking serenity and prayer. And to keep receiving content like this, make sure to click the bell and stay updated with all our future posts. Thank you so much for watching this video about Saint Charbel's Church and the spiritual journey to Annaya. We hope this story has touched your heart and strengthened your faith. See you in the next video.